everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am going to be talking about how to work with confusing eyeshadow palettes. And when you have an eyeshadow palette and you look at it and you're like, what look should I create with this palette? Like sometimes it's hard depending on the palette that you're using. So the inspiration behind this video is actually my friend Kat McLeod here on YouTube. I will leave her channel down below, as well as the video that I'm kind of referencing to my video. I will also link for you guys. She talked about how to work with difficult palettes, and she went in very depth about, you know, depending on which palette, like what kind of theory you can use, I guess I should say, which was very helpful. But I was looking at my own palettes and trying to go off of what she was saying, and there was one palette in particular that I was like trying my hardest to like figure out what kind of look I could do with this palette, and it was really hard. So I kind of came up with my own theory behind it, just because every palette's going to be different and sometimes you can't go based off of previous knowledge that you had before. With that said, the palette that I'm talking about is the Jaclyn Hill palette, and the reason why I say this is because this palette is definitely like a little bit confusing, just because you have kind of all your neutral shades up at the top and then your really bright colors at the bottom. And so if you were to go off of information like quadding them or going row by row, like that's hard to do. So what I thought of, and hopefully this makes sense to you guys because it makes sense to me. For example, if I was going to stick to the top rows to create a eye look, if I were to go for like a quad, it would be like these four shadows right here. Get this kind of lavender shift shade, which just doesn't go with this gold and yellow right here. Instead, what I would do is I would pair like these three shadows right here, and you can obviously pair it to whatever you want. So if you wanted to do these three shadows instead of these three shadows, you can do that. But these are all so different that they all complement each other. You want colors that complement each other. So let's say I wanted to use more of the bottom row to create an eye look. So if you were to go by quad, you'll get these four shadows right here, which they all kind of will mute together and kind of create one look. I mean, one color, because they're all very similar. But if you were to go for like these top three right here, you would get a unique eyeshadow look out of it, as well as if you're going to use these three shadows down here. So that's my take on using a palette kind of like this, because sometimes it can be difficult. You can't go diagonally because some of the shadows you're question like, wait, those don't look right together. It's hard to go row by row because there's so many shadows in a big palette like this. So going row by row, that's just so many shadows to figure out like how to work with that. The palette that I'm going to talk about is the Disney Masquerade palette from Colourpop. So this palette is pretty colorful. Like you get a lot of fun shades in here, but it can definitely get confusing the more you look at it. And they created this specific palette to where you could go row by row and get a look. You wanted to kind of go outside the box and create your own look, then you'd probably get a little confused, like what shades could I work for? Specifically in this case, you would want to go by warm and cool tones. So basically your warm tones would be Damsel, Pip, Enchanted, Nutmeg, Dejali, Mrs. Potts, and those are your warm tones. The cool tones, you would pick Frog and Wife, Merryweather, Quasimodo, Gaston, New Dream, and Floating Lantern. Like, and then all the shimmer shades can kind of go either or because they have a kind of a shift to them. Okay, but that's kind of the kind of take you would take on a palette like this. And my take on as far as working with difficult palettes. I hope you guys found these helpful, and definitely leave in the comments down below and let me know what palettes you guys have that maybe you have a difficult time using. I hope this was helpful again. If you guys want to see the kind of the looks that I created using these specific palettes, I will definitely leave those video links down in the description below so you guys can go look. So those are kind of looks that I created with using these palettes already. Again, use your creativity, guys. It doesn't matter. There's no rules to makeup whatsoever. You can do whatever you want. And if somebody doesn't agree with you, who cares? This is your way of showing your creativity, and it's just fun. At the end of the day, it's just fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Leave in the comments down below. Let me know if this was helpful and what else you guys want to see from me. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post new videos. And I feel like I'm talking really, really fast, so I'm going to end this video here. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.